Hello everybody, Alex here. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a happy holidays to all of my friends with a different faith. Here I am at my home workshop and I've got a little project going on the table here. I'd like to talk a little bit about the last video that I did on a desk. You may have seen it. It was just a little campy little video edit that I put together to sort of show that project in process. But today what I'd like to do is break down the costs, the time that it took me, and talk a little bit about the tools that I've been using here. My goal is to basically, in my home workshop, try to push the limits to see what is the best possible product that I can put out using common lumber from the big box stores, using common tools that won't break the budget that usually most homeowners have, most DIYers have, most hobbyists have. And I really want to push the limits as to the type of design and things that I could put out. So talking about that desk here, this is the first project that I have used SketchUp in years. And I have to say, it was worth taking the time to learn a little bit of it. I'm not an expert on it, but I was able to at least hash this out. I was able to just quickly, get the measurements and create a cut list and get to work. Now, I still have a mess of a manual cut list here. I'm old school. This is how I do things. This is how I feel comfortable. But I know there's plugins and stuff. I know there's software and stuff, and I'd like to implement that. But for now, this is what I've been using to basically get my cut list, get my measurements, get my supply list, track my hours and whatnot. It's a mess, folks. I get it. But basically, in materials, I have total $425 to produce that desk. Basically, it was 2 sheets of 3/4 ply, 1/2-inch ply, some slides, the stains and whatnot. I have up here some shop supplies that I needed for the project. That's what it boiled down to. Plus the wireless charger that I bought off of Amazon. You might have seen that desk has a concealed wireless charging capability. So it boiled down to about $425. Okay, now as far as time, I have here total time of 34 work hours. Now, obviously mileage may vary with your project. This took me a lot of extra time because it was my first project that I was doing here in my home workshop. I'm still getting things set up. I still have a mess going on that I need to organize. A lot of things going on here that I need to get away. And once I get the efficiency of my home shop here down, then I'll be able to really cut this down a lot. Plus, this includes a lot of time learning SketchUp. And again, I'm at home, so I'll put something together. I'll set it down to dry. I'll go get myself a snack or whatnot. And no, I don't technically count that time, but it does add to it. And again, we can shave this down quite a bit. The same with the costs, right? So this $425 cost, you can shave down quite a bit if you wanted to keep that desk below 24 inches or at 24-inch depth, for example. Then you can get 2 tops from 1 sheet and basically save yourself $80 on a sheet of plywood. You can decide to go with different slides. The slides were $20 a piece. They were metal slides, soft close. You can decide to go with simple slides or none at all, maybe just have a wood sliding drawer. So again, mileage may vary. This isn't necessarily a how-to video, just sharing my experience on what can be done, again, with a home setup in a garage using some simple tools. So I've moved on to my next project here, and I'm a little bit of a time crunch because I'm taking advantage of some time that I have off for the holidays. And I just wanted to get this design hashed out so I can start, so I can generate a cut list and get to work, right? So normally my idea, I would jot down like this. Normally I would take this to SketchUp, generate a nice drawing, check out my proportions, make sure I like the angles of things, make sure I like the measurements on everything. And then from there, I can generate my cut list, which again, right now, I just got a little manual little cut list. I will upgrade that, improve that, change that, hopefully sometime in the future. So here I am in mid-process of this little coffee table and end table combination that I'd like to work on. I am basically using the scraps and leftovers from this desk project. I did have some poplar cutoffs, but if you don't have them and you needed to get some new poplar, then maybe add, I don't know, maybe another 50, 60 bucks to the wood list. But basically the offcuts from that desk project plus a little bit of poplar. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make the legs out of solid poplar too, so I'd have to get a bit more for that. But nevertheless, again, if you wanted to average out the costs, $425 there, maybe add another 100 bucks, and then you can build these projects along with it. Just keep that in mind, that that's always an option, is to use your offcuts for what you can. So again, I'm using plywood for all my pieces. I'm doing edge banding in 3/4 by 3/4 inch poplar to sort of cheat my way into making it look like they are solid panels. I would love to make this out of solid wood, but again, I want to keep this relatable. I want to keep this a project that the supplies can be bought at your local hardware store, that anybody can use with, a basic table saw, basic miter saw, I did use the Ryobi track saw for this, but this could easily be done with a circular saw and a straight edge to get nice square panels, and then rip your edge banding and get to work. Hello everybody, Alex here with a brief interruption to talk a little bit about tools and the brands that I use. Even though I do this for a living and I have access to a professional workshop with professional tools in there, I use Ryobi brand for just about anything I can. I use them a lot for work with the impacts and the saws, and I certainly use them at home with a table saw, miter saw. I find that if you dial them in and maintain them and adjust them, you can get very good results from it that I've been satisfied with. And I know the mantra should be buy the most expensive tool that you can afford. Since I have to buy a lot of tools, I tend to go a little cheaper per tool, and I find that Ryobi just hits a good sweet spot for me as far as value for money, especially when I keep my eyes out for the sales that Home Depot runs, and especially the sales that Direct Tools Factory Outlet runs, where I can get factory reconditioned and factory refurbished Ryobi tools at really dirt cheap prices. So that's been a good outlet for me. Again, I know that this can be a hot topic with many other YouTubers. A lot of people will hate on Ryobi, and listen, you do you. For me, Ryobi has been where it's at. Back to the video. If you find the information here valuable, I will continue to put out my experiences with these projects as they come along. When I'm working from home, I'm basically doing things, as a homeowner would do them. And I think that information would be relatable and important to many others. So I want to let you all know that I am living my dream. This is absolutely where I want to be, doing absolutely what I want to do. I have been absolutely blessed, and I hope that each and every one of you are blessed as well with this upcoming new year. I wish you all well. Thank you for joining me today. God bless.